Welcome back to another edition of the Coach's Corner. Today we're going to be reviewing the Bucs versus Vikings, and you can pretty much take this game and equate it to the Bucs didn't make a whole lot of mistakes, and the Vikings missed on a bunch of opportunities. And the Buccaneers had a pass rush. Kirk Cousins didn't really have a chance because I don't know exactly how many times he was sacked. It had to have been. It was more than 3 times. I know that, and Dalvin Cook looked good. I mean, he was the first 100-yard rusher the Bucs have given up since like last year. And generally speaking, when Dalvin Cook has over 100 yards, the Vikings are going to win the game. But that just wasn't the case Sunday. Now, as a Vikings fan, I'm not gonna go there. But a lot of people have been pointing at officiating, which there were a couple things that I thought were kind of, shady, for lack of a better way of putting it. But nothing at the end of the day that you should point at when you miss 3 field goals and 2 extra points. Like, you don't deserve to win. Now, if you make those and it's a close game, yeah, you could maybe go back to those and be like, we're screwed over a little bit here. But at the end of the day, a win's a win, a loss is a loss. And like we mentioned, there are no asterisks next to the win-loss column.
Right.
What's your opinion?
No, I think I can't really speak too much onto what you said because, I think you nailed it, Anytime you look at the box score and you see that Kirk Cousins is your second leading rusher with 41 rushing yards, that means he's back there running for his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Tampa defense, I think Todd Bowles schemed a great game for him. You look at it, Kirk Cousins only had 225 yards passing. Of course, in this offense, you don't expect to see him putting up 400 or anything.
But when your leading receivers are your fullback and your third string tight end, that's not good.
Right. Irv Smith Jr. had a nice game, 4 catches, 63 yards, but Tyler Conklin, like you said, Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, that's very clever. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, they're both held at 39 yards receiving. They were
CJ Ham. Ham was the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. But you look on the other side, this was a winnable game. That the Vikings, if they miss the playoffs, they're going to look back at, they're going to circle this one in particular, and they're going to say this is one we should have walked away with. Ronald Jones, 80 yards, 4.5 yards a carry, nothing special. Tom Brady, under 200 yards. Everybody's going to say, oh, but he threw 2 touchdowns. Okay, so what?
Exactly.
When the offense is clicking like that and you're dominating the line of scrimmage and the way it felt like they were, it's hard to really say, oh, great, you could slap him on the butt and say, hey, great game, Tom, but was it really? What did Tom Brady do that was so special this game because like you said, even with the 3 missed field goals and the PAT woes, the Vikings were in this thing until the very end, right? It never felt like, because they would get the ball back and they'd drive and it'd stall out or they'd miss the kick. And it's like, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. So this was more a Vikings loss than a Bucs win, I felt like. If I'm a Bucs fan, I'm not really feeling strong about beating the Vikings. If I'm a Vikings fan, I'm furious at, a missed opportunity like this.
Yeah, and really what – it was end of the second quarter was big in the favor of the Bucs. The Vikings started off great, but the missed extra point to begin the game, like you had all this momentum because you stopped the Bucs. You go down and score, and then you miss this extra point, and you kind of re-energize their sideline. Also, so to end the second quarter, the Buccaneers somehow, like the clock slowed down, or they were able to get this spike off. Whatever. I don't know the clock operator. It happens. But then the pass interference on the Hail Mary at the end of the half. When do you ever see Hail Marys, like with pass interference at the end of half? So then that led to another, field goal. But it seems like at that point, even at that point, the Vikings still had enough confidence to kind of like they were coming back. I think it got to as close as maybe a 6-point or 9-point game in the second half. So the Vikings were never really out of it. But every time you send the kicker out there, when you're at like 4th and 18, 4th and 20, you can't go for it. And Mike Zimmer mentioned that in his post-game press conference. Like, I know that Dan Bailey didn't have a great game, but, when you get sacked 2 plays in a row to make what would have been like a 4th and 3 into a 4th and 16, 17, 18, like, your odds are better probably trying to get your kicker to make a field goal, which obviously didn't happen. So I mean, it was just like you put it. I was more of the Vikings shooting themselves in the foot compared to a Bucs win, because there's nothing the Bucs did that really wows you outside of the defensive performance. Like, everyone, this is bad when that a lot of the commentators were like, oh wow, Brady still has it because he was able to hit Scotty Miller on this long touchdown. It's like, yeah, I mean, it was impressive, but I mean, could you name the Vikings corner? No, it was Chris Jones. I mean, a guy that the Vikings signed off the street, and it was. I'll give Leftwich and Arians credit. It was good play design because they had the in and then the post behind it, and it sucked the safety to where it was one-on-one with the corner. And I mean, it was pretty good coverage, but it was just a better thrown ball, as we've talked about before. There's no defense to a perfectly thrown ball, so
exactly.
It was just kind of one of those games, but. Helps the Bucs out, but the Vikings are still in playoff contention along with the Bears. So we'll see how the end of the season turns out.
Well, you made a great point. I mean, so let's evaluate that into the second half. Okay, let's take the field goal off of a Hail Mary, the botch there. Let's say Dan Bailey makes the field goal, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's 7-14 going into half. Okay, and then you come out, you outscored them 8-6. Okay, let's assume they don't go for 2. They just kick the PAT because your kicker can make them. We're just assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 14. We're going to 14-20 because they missed the PAT. Let's factor in Dan Bailey's.
That should have been a field goal because they called Harrison Smith on an illegal hit. Basically, as the receiver was diving for the first down, Harrison Smith was already going. It was one of those it wasn't a blatant helmet to helmet. It was just That's the way the receiver. So it gave him a first down, and then they got him down to third down, and then the rookie corner got Jeff Gladney got called on a PI in the end zone when it wasn't a PI. Mike Evans slipped, but they called PI, so that should have been a field goal.
So okay, let's factor that in. Let's say take the field goal off the table. Or take the score off the table. Put a field goal up there.
17-7.
So you've got 3 points there. You got 3 points in the fourth quarter. Dan Bailey makes his field goals and the PAT. You win 21-20.
Yeah,
and that's what it comes down to. It absolutely comes down to that. So, my math is horrible. You would win 14. You'd win. You'd win. I'm not doing the math right now.
I agree with you. I haven't taken a math class since freshman year of college, so my math skills are kind of a little shady to say the least.
I don't do that. I always go for 2, so my brain is only.
You're one of those guys, huh? Analytics.
It's only 6 and multiples of 6 and 8, right? So
exactly.
3, not in my wheelhouse. I'm not even thinking about it. I know.
The lowest one you have are 2s for those all out blitzes. You're hoping to get the safety, right?
Man, we won't even go into that right now.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys think. If we got something wrong, don't be afraid to let us know in the comments. You have a question that you want featured on the show, we'll answer it next show. Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification bells, and check out other great content from the East West Football Network. Thank you.